The number is out, and it's already dividing the country's most reliable voters from the system that swears it's protecting them. Fresh projections point to a modest Social Security boost next year. On paper, it looks like relief. In real life, it might feel like a silent pay cut once the grocery aisle, the gas pump, and the pharmacy get their bite. For millions, this isn't an update, it's a lifeline. And the way Washington calculates that lifeline can shrink it before it ever hits your account. Here's the fault line. The annual adjustment is anchored to the CPI-W, the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. Every October, the average CPI-W for July, August, and September is compared to the same 3 months a year earlier. That percentage becomes next year's COLA. Neat, clean, and, many argue, blind to how older Americans actually spend. CPI-W is built around workers' spending patterns, not retirees. Healthcare, housing, and transportation take up a bigger slice of seniors' budgets, and those costs often outpace general inflation. That's why an okay number on paper can feel like a gut punch in practice. Based on July data, CPI-W is up about 2.5% year over year. Translating that into the Social Security universe, major trackers now peg the 2026 COLA around 2.7%, a touch higher than this year's 2.5%, but miles below the pandemic-era surges of 5.9% 2022 and 8.7% 2023. If the average retired worker benefit is roughly $2,006.69, a 2.7% bump is about $54 a month. Noticeable, but hardly game-changing when essentials keep grinding higher. Survivors as a group would see roughly plus $39. Disabled workers, about plus $43, using current category averages. The math is simple. The lived reality isn't. Seniors themselves keep flagging expenses the CPI-W doesn't fully capture, especially when access is a cost. A nationwide lifestyle survey found 1 in 5 older Americans traveling 30-plus minutes just to reach a healthcare provider, and 1 in 3 traveling that far for entertainment or community connection. More than half either lack public transit nearby or don't even know if it exists, meaning more driving, more fuel, more maintenance, more money out the door just to participate in normal life. That's not a luxury, that's survival. COLA is supposed to defend your purchasing power, but it's reactive by design. It chases last quarter's prices, not next month's bills. During the pandemic spike, the big raises were really reimbursements for damage already done. When inflation cooled, the raises cooled faster, while sticky costs, rents, medical services, insurance, kept marching. Consider the timing. The Q3 index sets the raise, the benefit changes in January, and then Medicare Part B premiums, deductibles, and possible IRMAA brackets can claw back part of it. Hold harmless shields many, but not all. New enrollees and higher-income households can still feel the bite. That's why every small percentage point matters. Let's pull it apart. If you're at the current average retired worker benefit of $2,006.69, 2.7% lands near $54 a month. For a survivor's overall, average around $1,444.90, it's $39. For disabled workers, average about $1,582.38, $43. That's before any premium changes, copays, or property tax and insurance hikes eat into your raise. It's also before the hold harmless rule quietly shields part of your check from being net reduced by Medicare Part B increases. Helpful, but not a cure-all if other costs climb. Remember, COLA's compound. Even a smaller raise lifts next year's base, but compounding only helps if rising essentials don't outrun it. Zoom out. And there's a deeper fight over the program's future. A newly enacted tax package adds a $6,000 additional deduction for those 65-plus from 2025 to 2028. Real immediate relief for many households. But there's a trade-off. Revenue from the taxation of Social Security benefits helps fund Social Security and Medicare. Lower that revenue and, Unless something else fills the gap, the trust funds inch toward their cliff a bit faster. The Social Security Chief Actuary's Office now estimates the new law nudges the old age and survivors insurance (OASI) depletion date from early 2033 into late 2032, and the combined OASDI date from "3rd 2034 to "1 2034. Not panic, but earlier. Trustees project that if combined reserves are depleted on that timeline, ongoing payroll taxes would cover about 81% of scheduled benefits in 2034, an automatic across-the-board cut of roughly 19% without legislation. That's not a trim. That's the rent, the insulin, or the heating bill. The clock is running, and the window for a calm fix is better now than in a crisis later. No one is waiting on Washington to balance a checkbook. Households are already squeezing savings out of the margins, renegotiating insurance, switching pharmacies, or using prescription discount programs, stacking grocer loyalty deals with sale cycles, shifting to bulk for shelf-stable staples, and reviewing utilities for autopay or budget plans that cap seasonal spikes. Consider calendar moves too. Revisit withholdings, Form W4V, sync bill due dates to your deposit day, and set a January reminder to check your COLA notice against your My Social Security account and Part B premium letter. None of that solves inflation. It does buy time and stability while the policy fights play out. The official 2026 COLA lands in October after we get the August and September CPI-W prints. Expect one more widely watched forecast in September from independent trackers who've been accurate in recent years. Medicare typically finalizes Part B premiums and deductibles in the fall. SSA mails COLA notices in late November or December, but your exact figure posts sooner in your online account. If you plan your budget early, make those milestones your decision points. After that, the number is set, and the conversation shifts to premiums, deductibles, and the new tax rules. If adjustments continue undershooting the costs seniors actually pay, the gap becomes a transfer from fixed-income households to the price of everything else. Communities feel it as delayed medical care, empty storefronts, and rising credit card balances. Families feel it as canceled trips, thinner pantries, and tough choices between prescriptions and power bills. That's the stakes. Dignity versus drift. The longer we normalize the mismatch, the more permanent it becomes. Two paths are on the table. 1. Modernize the measuring stick. Align COLA with seniors' real basket, improve access to care and transit that cut hidden costs, and protect the program's financing with an early, balanced fix. 2. Let inertia rule and accept that each raise arrives late and leaves people treading water. Which future do we choose? Add your story, which bills are hitting hardest right now: pharmacy counters, insurance renewals, utilities, property taxes, or the weekly grocery run. Real experiences expose where the formula fails and push this debate toward solutions that actually help. If this reporting helps you plan with fewer surprises, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next CPI-W, Medicare, and premium updates. It keeps this coverage in your corner when the numbers move. If it earned your trust, leave a like. That signals the platform to surface this to neighbors who need it. And drop a comment with a tip that stretched your budget this month. Those ideas become lifelines for someone else. If the formula keeps measuring a worker's wallets while seniors pay a retiree's bills, how long before a cost of living raise feels like anything but? Next up, what changing the index to CPIE would really do. To your check, to the program's finances, and to everyone who depends on it.